everybody, this is Mitzi with Mit's Adventures. I'm in the basement, and this is, I don't know, day 10, I think, of VEDA. I didn't go anywhere today. Decided to save my gas, not go to the park. It's a little chilly out. Had no place to go, didn't want to spend any money, so I just stayed home. Well, the first thing I want to tell you is yesterday, when I was in my van, I took measurements. I took measurements from behind the front seat to the back door, from side to side, from the floor to the bottom of the window, width of the bed to the back of the door. I mean, all kinds of measurements. Because I decided I have time, I'm going to make a little cardboard, to scale, kind of, so I really know what I'm working with. So I like, from the front seat to the back door is 10 feet, so I'm going to do 10 inches. I'm going to make a little scale model, not very big, and I'm going to have stuff in it so I can see exactly what will fit and what I could do. Is that a good idea? I think it is. I saw somebody a long time ago in a video made like a model and put things in it, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, I've seen people also make cardboard cutouts and put it in the actual van, but I don't have big old pieces of cardboard to be playing around like that, so I've got cardboard boxes and stuff. I'll just lay them out. I've got some poster board too, which is fairly sturdy, and that would work. So that's what I'm going to do in the next couple days, and I'll show you my results. I also then took measurements of the things that I have or want to have in it, like the width of the counter that's in there, the length and the height, and the little table that I love, my little TV table, the wooden tray. I use it a lot. The little dresser that's got my clothes in it, things like that. My ottoman that's maybe my toilet someday, I don't know. So I'm going to have everything to scale, and I can move it around and figure out where I want to put stuff and get some ideas. The other thing, I'm going to show you a picture right now. It's story time. I'll tell you a little story, and hopefully I won't step on any toes. It's about me and my sister, Patty, who I always say I love you at the end of my videos because I love her. Here's a picture of us when we both were 40 years old. We're 11 months apart, so 1 month out of the year we're the same age. So here's a picture of us at 40. Yep, that's me and my sister. When I turned 40, I was living in where was I living? I've lived in so many places. Hendersonville, North Carolina. I lived in Hendersonville, North Carolina. I was working for hospice in the office, and she lived in LA, and I think she was working for I don't know exactly who she was working for, but she decided we should be together on our 40th birthday, and I agreed. I don't know who decided it, but we decided that. So, me being the only one with, well, gosh, there's so much leading up to this. Joey told me once, he said him and Patty Joey's my brother, he's deceased now. He said him and Patty got together a long time ago and decided they were going to let me have all the kids. So basically, they had no kids and more money, and I had kids and no money. So anyway, she paid for me to fly to California for 2 weeks. And the second week we were going to take a cruise. She paid for the cruise. She paid for everything. And the first week I spent with her and her then husband. I don't know if they were still married or divorced and just sharing an apartment to save money. because they did that for a while. I think maybe they were already divorced by then, because he was fairly nice to her again. So that could be it. But I stayed there, and it was a little bit weird because me being the youngest, and I got the impression that nobody trusted me too much with anything important. And part of the reason I had that impression is for different things. For number one, I smoked. They didn't. And she said I'd have to go out on the balcony to smoke, which I was fine with. Right before I went on the balcony, she told me about all the drive-by shootings going on. So I was a little nervous about that. Then she was working the first week. The second week she took off so we could go on the cruise. She didn't give me a key to her apartment because she was afraid I'd lose the key. So I was basically stuck inside an apartment that I couldn't smoke in. I couldn't go sightseeing while she was at work because I didn't have a key to lock up. So it was kind of, by the time the second week came, I was a little aggravated to begin with. Okay, so we get on the cruise, and we took a cruise down to Mexico. It was beautiful. And they give you, the way cruises work, if you haven't ever been on one, usually you put money down and they give you a card, like a credit card thing, and you pay, most everything is paid for, but if you want to have a drink at the bar, at the pool, or whatever, extra stuff like that, you have to pay for. So we each got a card, and then she took my card away the first day because she was afraid I'd lose it, and then somebody else would use it and spend all her money. So I couldn't have a card. So basically I was with her 24/7 because I had no card. I had no way to do anything on my own. It was a little bit, you know, we had a good time, but at the same time I was slightly aggravated. By the time the week was out, I was so ready to leave there. And Patty, I'm assuming you know all this, but in case you didn't, yeah, I was not thrilled with that trip. But the stuff we did was great. I mean, I got to kiss an iguana. And, you know, we went, I don't know, we took day tours, some of the places, you know, it was nice. I think I have a picture somewhere where she did take me to Grauman's Chinese Theater, so I saw all the cement movie star footprints. I saw John Wayne, and I found Al Jolson. Those were my two things I wanted to find. So I think I took pictures of them. I have no idea where the pictures are now, but I'm pretty sure I did take pictures of both of them, and I was amazed at how little the feet looked for John Wayne. But he had boots on, so there was like a spot for holes and then the foot thing. And I think it shrinks as the cement dries. That's what I've decided, because his feet were not that little. Okay, so I think I've said in past things that me and Patty have had our issues. And mostly it's because I was the baby of the family. I've always been the baby. I'm still the baby. And her and Joey both treated me like the baby. And when I got older, I didn't really care to be treated that way anymore. I thought, well, I'm an adult now. Treat me like an adult. I don't care if I act like a kid still. I'm an adult. Anyway, so there's the story. That was the first cruise I went on. I've been on 2 cruises. The second cruise was also pretty bad. My mean old stepdad, I don't know what got into him, but he decided he was going to invite all the kids on a cruise. And he had 4 kids, and then Mom had 3, us 3. So we were all invited on this cruise, and he paid for it all, which was wonderful. It was Costa Cruise Lines. It was very, very fancy. And everybody and their significant other was invited to go on this cruise. And I was kind of miserable on that one too. I don't know, I just always felt kind of out of place. Always felt kind of out of place. I was always, and I'm sure part of it was of my own doing. I'm positive part of it was of my own doing, because I couldn't get over past discretions, you know. I'm slowly getting over all that now because I realize how silly it is to have to live your life based on how you think other people think of you. Because lots of times they don't even think of you the way you think they do. Does that make sense? Okay, so there's your story time for today. The other thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure some of you have noticed too because you do follow other YouTubers, they have this thing on YouTube now. I've noticed nobody is saying coronavirus on their videos. And I was watching one today again, and he said, he was talking about something about it, and he said, well, you know what I'm talking about, you know. And I was watching Donna Van Life. She said, well, I can't say it because they'll demonetize. And this guy said the same thing. So if you mention coronavirus, which I can mention because I'm not monetized anyway, I've only got 154 or something like that subscribers. But if you mention it, evidently they won't put advertising on your ads, which means you don't get money from the advertisements or something like that. I'm not sure how that all works, but I thought, well, my God, everybody's talking about this. Why can't they mention it? Why can't they talk about it? And I looked it up, and they said it's because it was marked as oh, I forget what they said, but they said that only authoritative sources can mention it. In other words, news channels, because they're trying to fight misinformation getting out there. And I'm thinking, man, that's not working. You know, there's misinformation all over the place. And I haven't gotten much of it from the YouTube people I subscribe to. I've gotten it from stupid comments on Facebook or whatever, you know. Like one person said, well, the sun will kill it. Will kill the virus. You know, anyway. All kinds of information out there. You don't know what to believe. But just the fact that you mentioned it should not keep you from being monetized. It says also if you say it in passing that you might be okay, but if you make it the topic, no, don't do that. Let everybody else talk about it, but pretend like, you know, you're not going to. It makes no sense. What do you think? Okay, so that's it for today. I'll show you my little cardboard cutout as soon as I get it, you know, to the point where it's something to look at. And everybody have a wonderful evening. I'll be in my van again tomorrow probably because I need to go buy water. So I'll be out for a while. And once I get out, I go to the park and I sit for a while because I like it. Even if it's cold, as long as the sun's shining, the inside of the van stays nice and warm. And everybody have a good evening. I love you all. I love you, Patty. And as always, you know, do something nice for somebody, even if it's a phone call. There's people that are evidently really lonely right now. I'm not lonely, but I'm thinking about doing a drive-by at my daughter's so I can see the grandkids. I don't think she'd mind that. Let them come out and wave to me. Hi! And I'll talk to you next time. Be good and follow your bliss.